How many times have you said in your life or in your career, oh my gosh, it all happened so fast, I didn't even see it coming? I'm Kelly Thompson. I'm a life and leadership coach. If you've been following along my transition series, you know we've been talking about how we typically respond when a big change happens to us, all the ideas we tend to get after we've kind of accepted it and started to move on, how we try to implement those ideas, and how to remain confident when those ideas don't always go as planned. And so now we're going to talk about what happens when, we have implemented some of these things and they're working and life is humming along, how to stay ready for what's next so you don't have that I didn't see it coming moment. So something to think about first. When a big change happens in your life or in your career, whether it's one that you initiated, like for instance, when I left corporate America to start my own business, or maybe it was something that happened to you, like perhaps you got let go or a relationship ended, what was more stressful? Was it the actual change itself and thinking about the new thing? Or was your stress and your anxiety and all that stuff that feels disorienting? Is that more because you're resisting letting go of the old thing? And that's why it's so tricky, because our ego really gets involved here. You see, our ego loves comfort. It loves an identity. It loves a title. It loves status, relationships, income, etc. And when it's at risk for losing those things, it wants to hold on even tighter, and it resists. And so when we resist moving into the new thing, that's where that tension comes in and that stress. I like to liken this to an analogy in that many folks tend to spend a lot of money, whether it's over the counter or going to appointments, on like exfoliation, like skin treatment. Everybody wants to look young, but the irony is to look young, you have to get rid of the dead. Skin is just like death and renewal, right? We want to like exfoliate all the dead stuff that keeps us dull and icky so that all of the new, fresh, brilliant skin can keep us looking young. The difference is there's not a lot of ego attachment to that. The ego just loves to attach to things that, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is who I affiliate with. So ask yourself, what is more painful? Is it the fact that I'm holding on to the old, or is it that I'm resisting the new? And how could the renewal actually keep me more brilliant, more youthful, more energetic? How could this be what's waiting for me? My dad gave me a great piece of advice when I was learning to drive that I think helps us navigate this place. He said, you know what? When you're learning to drive and you're driving down the highway, always be looking for a soft spot to land. He goes, this is important because you never know when you're going to be driving down the interstate at 75 miles an hour and a car swerves into your lane, or some sort of debris pile is there and you have to react quickly. Well, I liken this to, how can I keep myself ready? How can I always be looking for my soft spot to land when my career is going 75 miles an hour and I'm cruising down my career interstate and I think everything is going good? Well, one of the ways I transitioned that into my career and kept that mindset of, how do I keep ready? How do I find a soft spot to land so my ego doesn't get as resistant when it happens? It's just to keep my skills current. Am I doing the things to keep skillful so that my skills are still marketable as the market changes? Am I fostering in relationships and connections? It's not just about skills. It's, am I building relationships so that, if something does happen, I can make a phone call? And likewise, if something happens to a friend or colleague of mine, could they call me? Am I continuing to learn? Am I taking all of these learning opportunities that could be coming my way because they could be preparing me for what's next? And then always, am I always willing to offer help? Help may not pay off in the short term. Maybe it does. But lots of times just offering help, whether it's to a colleague or to an organization or volunteering, can always turn into improved skills, learning, and fostering connections. So as you're driving down the interstate of your career, I want you to think about finding that soft spot to land. It's a great preparation so that when something does change, it'll hopefully help ease that resistance of letting go of the old thing, because you've taken small steps to help you be ready for the new thing. The final thought I'll leave you with is one of my favorite one-liners from my old boss, Cy Wakeman. She said, You know what? The best way to greet change is with a simple good to know. And after that good to know, the next question is what can I do to add value? So hopefully you found this series helpful. You can always go back and watch the videos on LinkedIn or Facebook. You can follow me and take a look at my coaching programs at kellyraythompson.com. And you can follow me on all social media channels at Kelly Ray Thompson.